I never thought I'd be the bad guy in my own love story. But here I am, single at 32, swiping through dating apps, getting ghosted by guys who can barely afford their own rent. And the worst part? I can trace it all back to one careless joke. One moment where I ran my mouth and humiliated the one man who ever truly loved me. I'm Tira, and 6 months ago, my life was solid. Not Instagram perfect, but comfortable. My husband Jerry and I had been married for 6 years. He was a welder, making good money. We had a stable home, steady routine, no major issues. Life wasn't flashy, but it worked. And then, everything changed. Jerry had an accident at work. A bad one. He survived, but he wasn't the same. And instead of being the wife he needed, I turned him into a joke. And just like that, I lost everything. Before everything fell apart, Jerry was my rock. He was strong, dependable, hard-working. The kind of man who never complained, never let me worry about money, and always put me first. If something broke in the house, he fixed it. If I was stressed, he handled things without me even asking. He wasn't the type to post romantic gestures online or give long speeches about love. But his actions spoke louder than words. For 6 years, I never had to question if he had my back. And for 6 years, I never realized how much I took that for granted. Until the day it was all taken from him. Until the day he became the man I joked about. Jerry's accident happened on a normal workday. I was at home, scrolling through my phone when I got the call. "Your husband's been injured at work." My heart stopped. I rushed to the hospital, expecting the worst: broken bones, maybe a concussion. But when I got there, Jerry was awake, breathing, but he wasn't okay. The doctor told us the truth. He had suffered severe nerve damage in his leg. His body would never be as strong as it was before. He would need months of recovery, maybe years. And the worst part? He couldn't work. The man who had built our life, who had always taken care of everything, was now the one who needed help. And instead of stepping up, I resented him for it. At first, I tried to be supportive. I told myself, it's just temporary. He'll recover. Things will go back to normal. But weeks passed, then months. Jerry wasn't getting better. The medical bills were piling up. He couldn't do the things he used to fix things around the house, take care of me the way he always had. And slowly, I started seeing him differently. Not as my husband, but as a burden. Then, one night, I made the joke that ruined everything. We were at a friend's barbecue. A few people were talking about their husbands fixing things around the house, handling business, being real men. And then someone turned to me and said, "Jerry must be loving all the extra time at home." I forced a laugh. And without thinking, I said, "Yeah, if only he wasn't completely useless now." The second it left my mouth, I felt it. The shift. Some of the guys at the table awkwardly chuckled. Some of the women gave me a look. But Jerry? He didn't laugh. He didn't say a word. He just stared at his plate, completely silent. Like something inside him had just shut off. And that was the moment I lost him. I just didn't know it yet. After that night, Jerry changed. Not in an angry, yelling, confrontational way. Number. He just stopped. Stopped trying to talk to me. Stopped looking at me the same way. Stopped asking if I needed anything. At first, I thought he was just hurt. That he'd get over it. But as the days passed, I started to realize he wasn't angry. He was done. I tried to make it up to him. I cooked his favorite meals, left little notes like I used to. But he just nodded, said thanks, and went back to whatever he was doing. The warmth was gone. Then, one night, as we were lying in bed, I finally asked, "Are you still mad about the joke?" He turned to me, eyes tired, emotionless. "Mad?" he repeated. "No, Tira. I just finally understand something." "What?" I whispered, my stomach twisting. He exhaled, then said the words that broke me. "You don't respect me anymore, and I can't stay married to a woman who sees me as a joke." And just like that, I knew it was over. The next morning, he was packing his bags. I stood in the doorway, watching in shock. "Jerry, you're really leaving?" He didn't stop folding his clothes. Yeah. His voice was calm. Final. Over a stupid joke? I blurted out, desperate now. Finally, he stopped and looked at me. It wasn't just a joke, Tira. It was what it meant. I swallowed hard. I didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did, he interrupted. You don't see me as your husband anymore. You see me as a problem, a man who isn't useful to you, and I refuse to stay in a marriage where I'm just dead weight. I felt my throat close up. You don't have to go, we can fix this. He sighed, like he had already mourned our marriage before I even realized it was dying. No, we can't, because the way you look at me now, I can't unsee it. And with that, he walked out the door. No yelling, no big dramatic scene. Just a man who finally realized he deserved better. And for the first time, I was the one left behind. At first, I told myself I'd move on fast. Jerry was just being sensitive. I was still young, attractive, and fun. If he wanted to leave over a stupid joke, then fine. I could do better. So I jumped into dating. I made a Tinder profile, went out with friends, started putting myself back out there. And at first, the attention felt good. The matches, the compliments, the late-night texts. But soon, I started noticing a pattern. The men I went on dates with, they weren't like Jerry. They didn't care about me. They didn't want anything serious. To them, I was just another option. Not a priority, not a partner, just someone to pass the time with. And suddenly, it hit me. The one man who had ever truly valued me, I had pushed him away. And now, even broke men wouldn't take me seriously. I had mocked my husband for being useless after his injury. And now, I was the one no man saw as valuable. I don't get a happy ending. I don't get a second chance. Jerry is gone. Not just from our home, not just from our marriage, but from my life. And the worst part? He's better without me. I thought I was being funny. I thought I was being honest. But all I did was prove to him that I didn't see his worth. And when a man realizes that, he doesn't argue. He doesn't fight for you. He just walks away. And once he does, he never looks back. So if you're listening to this, don't make the mistake I did. Because when you turn a good man into a joke, the only punchline is you. Goodbye.